Invite Courtney. There we go. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hi, everyone.
I think everyone can see you.
Yeah, Zelda's being a big turd today.
Hello.
Hi, Paulyne.
Hi, Kate.
Hi. Hi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thanks for having us. This is exciting.
It's all good. Welcome to a chaotic. Oh,
Courtney's having
Courtney
issues.
can't get on. Let me.
Hi, Zelda.
Let me just. Right.
Come here. Come
Re-invite. I think there should be a button. You guys have done it, so maybe you have to tell her what. Oh, accepted. I think we're good.
Do you want to lie on your bed? Do you want to lie on your bed? Okay. Okay. No, your bed's right here. Here. Lie down.
Hello.
Stay. Zip it.
I can't hear you, I don't think, Courtney.
I love you. Go lie down.
Did it work?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, great. And just in time, my 3 dogs are going insane because my parents just got home. They've been
We'll
good
have
all
the
day.
insane dogs.
Ah.
Hello, nice to see you again.
Hi.
Lie down.
I think we all should just tell Zelda to just lie down. Don't worry. If
I
she
mean,
barks, then at least I've got
trying.
headphones on, so mine
Yes.
won't bark, but everybody else is
Lie
fine.
down. Lie down. Okay, well, she'll lie down in a second.
Just, yeah, maybe if we ignore her, she'll lie down. How is everybody?
Good.
Fantastic.
In the dream.
Good. We're just saying it's cold everywhere. Is it cold where you guys are?
Yes,
It's freezing.
it's cold.
It's hibernation season.
Exactly. Yes, I agree with that. So I've written myself some questions for you guys. And obviously, if anyone else has got questions, they can write them in the chat or they can ask a question as we go through, because maybe people pick up on something and go, oh, I'd like to know a bit more about that. So if you want to start off with introducing yourselves and your roles in the film. So if we go this way around my screen, so if we go Kate, Courtney, and then Paulyne, or whichever, it doesn't matter. Take your pick.
Go the other way. Go Paulyne first.
Okay, yeah.
Kate, you're gonna throw me the first time interviewee into the deep end right now. Okay, great. Thanks, Kate. I'm Paulyne. And I play adult Lynn in Just a Friend. And it was a story inspired by a story I was telling Courtney a few years ago. And we finally made the film.
I guess me.
Courtney, do you want to go? Yeah.
Hi, I'm Courtney Deelen. I wrote the film when Paulyne told me a story, and it took me many years to write it. I did a lot of other interviews with other people and tried to expand on just Paulyne's experience to make it a little bit more universal. I directed it and I produced a good chunk of it because why not? I'm a control
Because you're that person.
Because I'm a control freak.
Of course.
Let's be honest.
I love Les.
I'm Kate Drummond. I play Sarah, and I play Lynn's partner in Just a Friend. I was going to say in Just a Film. It's not just a film, but in Just a Friend.
I think we're both living in this territory today.
We're
Just sit there like that. We're all having a good think today.
That's how you know I'm thinking. Because there's nothing going on up above. Yeah, so I'm one of the actors in the film. So yeah.
Fantastic. So if you want to speak about what the general premise of the film is and maybe what the inspiration for the film is, obviously you've touched on it a little bit, Pauline, but maybe sort of like in general what it's about and why you made it.
Paulyne, you go.
Who wants to start?
Me? Why we made it? We made this film because Courtney got inspired by something I told her, which is really cool. And it's a story that hasn't been told or heard. At least I haven't seen it, about a middle-aged woman, and it's really a story about what is it, like the changes through each stage of life, and oh God, what was that word? What's that phrase? You know, when no coming of age.
Coming of age
Story.
Oh, not
How come I can't remember that? The whole movie. That's really what it is. At each stage of life, it's a coming of age story, really. And even seeing Lynn's mother as well. And it's not really a story that's seen. And also, rarely or if ever have we seen a middle-aged Asian lesbian story. So it was an important story. It's a story that needed to be told. And I'm just really excited that I got to represent a demographic that I want to see more on screen. My demographic. So.
And just to kind of continue on what Paulyne was saying, there's a lot of really wonderful representation now, I think, for younger people in the media. There's a lot of really positive LGBTQ2 plus representation that I think finally it's about time. But I think a lot of those coming of age stories is geared to, you know, teenagers or like up to like mid 20s. And I really wanted to continue a conversation that, you know, I'm 33 and just recently came into my own and came out to my closest friends and family as bisexual. And we're not seeing those stories. People who are towards, you know, later in life, like not even later in life, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, we're all having aha moments all the time, but we're not seeing those stories celebrated. So I really, really wanted to focus on a coming of age story that celebrated someone over 40 and maybe even over 50 one day, over 60 one day, to continue this conversation. I think that was important. So yeah, Paulyne's story. I stole it because I loved it and I thought it was very special and dear and new and different. And I spoke to, I think it was close to 40 other LGBTQ people of varying ages, varying genders, and asking about their experience, if they were safe to share it with me. And a lot of the stories for people who were over a certain age were very similar, not very happy, not very hopeful. That wasn't the case for a lot of people over a certain age. So I wanted to kind of honor that and show the struggle that Lynn has with her mother and her particular circumstance. But I really wanted it to be a hopeful piece of media at the end. We're not going to tell you if she gets that, you know, that loving, aha, wonderful moment or not. That's for you to see the film. But I think that acceptance doesn't really matter because she has the love of her life, Sarah. And I think that's the important thing. We find our chosen family, we find our chosen friends, and we create a space for us if we're not necessarily celebrated in our own spaces or with our own families. So I wanted this story to kind of honor the struggle that a lot of people go through, with a hopeful side that, you know, we see her happy, we see her thriving. Their relationship is something really special. So that's kind of full circle my intention with the film. Creating home, yes.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people have put representation so important, and someone's put thank you for providing this representation. So I think it is important. Like I've seen in fandoms where there's so many different sorts of people. Like no one has one story, and I think be able to show a variety of stories is so important.
Yeah,
like even not just queer stories, but in general, just stories, everything.
For me, growing up, I didn't see any representation unless we were the butt of the joke. So it was really difficult growing up, wanting to be in film, wanting to be white instead of Chinese. And this whole process of Just a Friend was also a part of me reclaiming my heritage and culture. Like my apartment now has exploded with, you can't see it right now here behind me, but it's exploded with red and gold because Lunar New Year's tomorrow. So I'm, through the years of media accepting us, I'm beginning to accept myself. And I did not have this representation growing up. So it feels really good to be a part of it, of the representation, but also it affecting me and creating, I guess, another version of me who accepts my culture and sexuality and age, to be honest.
That's really good. That's really good. I wish there was, you do notice a lot, like Courtney says, it's all like mostly, which is good that they have teens, but mostly coming out stories is younger people. But like you say, like I do know a lot of people that's come out later in life. I was actually, one of my questions was, do you know other, maybe yourself or somebody else, like did you hear any stories from people who were discovering themselves or had struggles coming out to their families later in life? Is that something you think people find particularly difficult? Like, why do you think it's so difficult to come out later in life? Like, after you finally accepted yourself, to then be able to say that to other people?
I can't. I'm not going to speak for everybody, but we grew up with a mentality in our head, with society, with the media telling us there's so many things we're not supposed to talk about, and being gay was not something you talked about, you know, and so I think a lot of times that just gets stuck in your head, even though the world is changing. The adult has to change as well, even though it's been stamped into our head. Don't talk about this. Don't talk about this. You know, you've made your life. I actually have a couple of older friends. When her husband passed away, she was in her 60s. She ended up with her best friend. Yeah. Now they live together and what?
I want to meet them. That's the next movie.
Yeah, so I'm just like so happy for her. You know, she finally got to come in. They got to come into their own, and they're happily together now.
That's really sweet. So Donna in the chats put, I'm 55 and we had no representation as LGBT people on TV and very little in film. I'm glad younger people now have more options, but I still don't see myself on screen. Yeah, I think that's the case with a lot of people. So it's really good. At least it's starting to happen. I think people are starting to open their eyes and go, it doesn't matter what age you are. People have stories, whatever age. People don't just want to see 20-year-olds. Like, it becomes a point where it gets a bit boring. We need to see other stories, which is good. Yeah. So I read that it's obviously based around a lot about preconceptions in Chinese culture. Why her mum, she can't come out to her mum. But I've read a lot about that they don't have as many rights, LGBT people in China, as they do everywhere else in the world. So did you do any research on this, or do you have, obviously Paulyne might have personal experience of this, but how different is it growing up in China with LGBT like issues and things like that? Is it very different?
I don't know really too much what's going on in China, because I'm born and raised in Toronto myself. Yeah. And my family is, the family that I know is in Taiwan. So completely, different government and way of living, because Taiwan's a lot more westernized.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. But I did have, although my parents were from China, they were very strict. I don't think that either my brother or I, both my brother and I are gay, ever exemplified or showed that we were gay. So, yeah.
Yeah, the film is definitely written from like an Anglo-Saxon, like Canadian lens for sure. I, like Paulyne, didn't want to get very political with this kind of at all, and tried to keep it a little bit universal. The thing that did come up again and again when I was talking to people from the Chinese culture specifically, because the one of the late use your words, Courtney. One of the main characters, June, the mom, is in a retirement home, and when that topic came up a lot in conversations, it was, oh well, we don't necessarily do that. We move in with or our parents move in with us, and we take responsibility and we care for them. So that's kind of off culturally for what we typically do. And then I broached with, well, they have this layer of they respect each other, but their communication has never been good, and our main character is gay. And then that completely changed the conversation. They're like, oh, I get it. Yeah, that makes sense that distance would be created. But the thing that I really wanted to focus on for this film, especially, is that, yes, that relationship is not as strong as it could be. And yes, there is a misunderstanding. But the point is, she's very well taken care of. Lynn makes sure that her mother is in like the best of care, even though she can't be the person to do it. She and Sarah can't be those caregivers as it's, culturally typically done. You see that June is very well taken care of. And I think that was an important piece that I wanted to honor, because everyone said that, like, we take care of our family if we can. And that's kind of the same situation that you're in too, Paulyne, right? Like with your mom, like she's like very, very well taken care of. And both of your parents are. Where I think, in, I don't know, Western culture, that care isn't necessarily there all of the time. You see a lot of people who are in retirement homes who are estranged from their family. And I think I just didn't want that to be in this film. I wanted there to be love underlying, even though there's friction.
Yeah. So Kate, what drew you to this project, and also how did you go about doing the casting? Courtney, was there something specifically people you were looking for?
Kate, go first.
The first thing that drew me to this project before I knew anything about it was Courtney, because I love everything she does. And it's not the first time I've worked with Courtney as a director and writer. I love the vulnerability and the straight to the heart of the matter way that Courtney has when she's creating film and telling stories. And for me, as soon as Courtney emails, I see her name, I'm like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? And then when I was presented with this storyline, there was not 1 ounce of hesitation. I was deeply, deeply flattered to be thought of for this role of Sarah, because as an ally, as someone who leads with my heart in all aspects of my life, I want to be part of stories that are changing the narrative. I want to be part of stories that open people's hearts and that spark conversations and get people thinking. I'm a big proponent of love. So I got invited to be part of a love story, and I was there to support Paulyne and her discovery through doing a first dramatic sort of film, and to work with this team. It was a beautiful offering for me as an artist, and I was very happy to jump on board.
I'm so glad you said yes.
I'm so glad it was you.
It just, it was so, the chemistry that you both had on screen. We're in the thick of post right now, and I've been watching your faces a lot. And it's just the care that you both have, and that, came off screen as well. You were both so protective of each other and so focused and supportive. It really, like, you guys shine. It's so beautiful to watch, and it's really hard to edit because there are so many pieces. I'm like, oh, I love that, and oh, I love that, but you have to be kind of decisive and, like, sometimes less is more. So it's, how do we find just the best bits? And it's been really hard because they're all the best bits. And I think it just, because you're both similar artists that lead with their heart, you can just, that screams on the screen. Like that love was there. And I was so happy that you said yes, because I wrote it for Paulyne. So Paulyne was cast. And then while I was writing it, I was like, oh, who could be this person? And immediately I was like, it's Kate. So I tried to write it in your voice, and I tried to, kind of write it with you in mind. And then everyone else, I kind of had a wish list of actors that I wanted. We didn't do formal auditions for this project. It's a short project, so I like to send offers first for shorts and see what people say. And just the universe did me a very serendipitous favor. And everybody that I asked said yes. And anyone who wasn't able or wasn't available to make the schedule work, the second call was exactly who it needed to be. So it just kind of happened exactly how it was meant to. So yeah, it was luck.
I think when something's meant to happen, it does happen the way it's meant to. Like, sometimes it works out weird like that.
And someone just wrote, it's a movie without my head exploding, but you haven't seen it yet, so you don't know what.
You don't know what I do to her.
It's like the Marvel movies at the end where there's like a bonus, like stay until after the credits.
Yeah. No, it was a really special experience. It's just so easy to fall in love when you let yourself, and without the parameters. I mean, without the judgments and the what am I supposed to feel? What does this look like? Just to fall in love with just your whole heart. And I mean, that's what we do as artists, is we fall in love every day when we work. Hopefully, if that's, we fall in love with our whatever the character is, even a villain. I mean, you're falling in love. You have to, because I mean, that's what resonates with the audience, is your heart, right? It's not how you say a line or how you look on screen. Well, it shouldn't be that, but but a little bit. But no, it's just like this is going to go down as one of those projects that's going to have a very special spot in my heart personally, especially because of the story of Paulyne and what she's brought to the table in terms of her experience. So.
And this whole project, like the team that Courtney put together and the love and care that she put into the script and the project, everything along the way, the writing, producing, casting, even right to the background, it was all love. The entire project was made of love. And it was just the most experience. Wonderful experience because of all the love that was put into this project, all stemming from Courtney. Thank you.
Oh. I attract very good people, clearly. So I was
joined hands and trying to make it hurt for you.
You got to do the Asian heart.
Oh yeah.
The emoji's even better.
So we had a question from Twitter. Miriam said, Paulyne, has it been cathartic to be able to get your story out there for everyone to see? I'm assuming by the answers it was, yeah.
Yeah, it was. Feels good to be seen and heard and to be here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, one of my questions actually was about what stage are you at with the filming? But obviously it's post-production. But how long did the process take with the filming? Like, how long did you have, and sort of what's left to come in that process?
So the pre-production process took significantly longer than it typically would, because COVID really kind of came in and give a huge to our plans. We received, yeah, exactly, like Kate said. We received a grant, and the original plan was to do a comedy night, featuring a lot of female comics, to do that last round of financing. And we had some really wonderful people step up and say, yeah, I want to be part of this. And we were going to have like an event and like a silent auction. And just before we were going to do that, like that was the like, the world is over, stay home. And then it was, 2 years of trying to figure out, okay, well, how do we round out this financing? Because it's expensive to make film, especially when you want to make it with a certain quality. And like a rule of thumb on our projects, my company is called Deelen with Trouble. A rule of thumb is everybody gets paid, even if it's, in an honorarium and pizza, everyone gets paid. We really pride ourselves on using like a favored nations mentality, especially on indie projects. So that one person's not making a ton of money and one person's making nothing, like everyone's coming out. And I think that, says something about the camaraderie on our projects because everyone knows that they're being respected. So anyway, raising financing, we did a Kickstarter campaign. We got a really amazing executive producer named Chantal Pisson who came on and gave us a very large sum of money. Once we had that financing, we were like good to go because we were cast and ready. Script revisions were being done. And then we could just hit the ground running once we had the financing to go. I think actual pre-production, like physical pre-production of casting, like the background and finding the rest of the crew, looking for locations, all of that was about a month. And then we shot over 3 days. Is that correct? 4 days. 3 days. 3 days.
Sunday.
I wanted
Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
3 days. 4 days.
Oh, yeah, Saturday. 3 days.
Saturdays. 3 days. Jesus Christ. Oh
Does it all blend into one at this point?
Oh my God. 3 days. And then like once that was done, it was like, whoa, like 4 years of all of this like hype. It was like over like in a blink. It was so crazy. And then I didn't look at any of the footage for 2 weeks because I wanted to disconnect my thoughts of how I felt on set and like the special moments that felt really good on set. I didn't want to watch the footage and remember how it felt. I wanted to actually see it kind of with a fresh set of eyes. And then because I'm a control freak, I do a paper edit, which my understanding, I have my wonderful editor, Eric Metzloff, lay out all of the footage for me. And he puts time code and I literally watch all of the footage and go, okay, this piece from this nanosecond to this nanosecond. And I make like a puzzle piece for him. And then I go, here's my movie. And he lays it out to be our like first rough cut, which he sent to me about a week ago. And now I'm in the, I hate this stage. I suck. This sucks. I hate this. This is horrible. But we're meeting tomorrow night to do a round of notes. And I know that after I sit with Eric, one session, I'm going to love this fucking movie again. So that's where we're at. I think we're going to be able to lock it in the next week. And then lock it meaning no more edits. I want to ask some people for notes, some people who weren't part of it. I'll probably send it to you both. And then once it's locked, we send it to sound. We have a composer who's going to do like the whole thing for us. He's going to compose the whole piece. So we're going to have original music, which I'm like, ooh, so excited.
Wow.
And then color. So hopefully I would love it to be done like within the next month, I think is realistic. So yeah, that's where we're at. If anybody cares about post-production.
Can I piggyback on something you just said?
Yeah.
So Courtney, you were like, this is 4 years of work in a blip. It feels like it's, and I think, that's something to sort of put like an exclamation mark, an exclamation words, Kate, words.
Story of my life.
To do the thing on, because like we, as an audience, if you remove yourself from the making of film, you scroll through things, you give something 5 minutes and you move on, you watch a gazillion different things streaming at the same time. And short films, I feel like they don't get the credit they deserve because you know, a lot of people are like, oh, it's a short film. It's probably just easy. They filmed it on an iPhone in their backyard one day when, you know, and it is such an intensive process to make any kind of film, any kind of short or lengthy, you know, series, features. And so as an audience member, like just keeping that in mind, that this was 4 years of work for a film. And it's something that it's like, that has to tell you how much people love to do what they do. Courtney loves to do what she does. Paulyne, we all love to do what we do. But just that sort of like reverence to film, you know, I just want to have that moment of just, you know, I'm guilty of it too. I'm like, oh, I'm bored. I move on. And I forget that it's like people have spent hours and hours and hours and days and years trying to bring a story to the screen for us and to give it that, you know, sort of, I don't know, the respect kind of thing. I just think it always blows my mind when someone's like, I was working on this for 10 years before it got greenlit, or I was working on this for, you know, and it's just like, wow, this is a really challenging industry that we're in. And to be able to get to this stage where you have a film that is going to be finished with an original composer and available for people to see is just such a huge accomplishment, Court. So you've done it.
Do a round of applause.
Well, I'm stubborn. I don't let things die.
No, but if you believe in it that much, then that's why.
I don't know when to walk away.
Someone's actually just asked one of the questions I was going to ask her. It says it's going to hit the festival circuit or international release. So is there anywhere that people will be able to see it? I'm assuming it'll do festivals first. That's what normally happens. But is there any plans outside of that?
Yeah, so the plan is to hopefully get into as many film festivals as possible. The more festivals we can get into, the closer it kind of is to your reach. If we could get to one in Europe, amazing, or in LA, or in, I don't know, Poughkeepsie, I don't know, wherever we go. I think whoever says yes, like I want to kind of spread as far as we can, as far as wide. I know that we're aiming for some of the bigs if we can, but I definitely would love to go to some smaller festivals, because I find those smaller festivals, you can actually get some face time with your audience and actually really connect with people. And I tend to kind of enjoy those ones a little bit more. But regardless, we're going to festival. I don't know where it's going to land. I think a lot of it's, you know, where it lives kind of depends on what happens with the festival circuit. We could have a very successful one. And if we, you know, get some awards, which I'm sure these two will probably get, then we could have multiple offers for it to land in distribution. We'll see kind of what happens. I'm not sure. Right now, I'm just so positive. I think it just needs to be seen. I think as many eyes that we can get on it would be amazing. I do have a connection with CBC GEM, which is the national broadcaster in Canada. So it may live there if they say yes, but they definitely want to see how it does in the festival circuit before that becomes its home. And I think you can, if it does end up on GEM, you can stream it for free from anywhere, right?
I don't know if you can get CBC GEM internationally, can you?
I think if you do a sign up, you might.
You have to put your email in, I think, but I think it's free.
Oh,
but
yeah, I think you can.
Anyway, I have a co-producer named Cheryl Bookout who's brilliant. That's her job.
You need to
here's your film, and now please make sure people see it. I'm gonna tag her once it's ready to go and let her work her magic. Definitely.
Aurelie says, is there anything we can do to help you? Like for festivals and stuff, is there anything like, do we need to get people to help push it or anything like that? Because the fandom that I'm in, as Kate knows this, we will push anything you want to push. We'll do it. So
I love that it's like an army. I love it.
It is. No, it truly is.
It is. incredible.
So if you need
I
any
think,
help.
staying in touch, the easiest way I think is via the Just a Friend Instagram, which is just underscore friend underscore short film.
Short girl.
Short film. I think announcements.
I'll link it in the YouTube video.
Thank you.
Okay. It's on Instagram, right? Just underscore
Just a Friend short film, and it should pop up, and it's our faces. And we'll post where you can join us and where you can see. I think updates make the most sense there as that landing pad. Yeah. Oh my God, stop it. That happened so fast.
Thank you.
Lyra has put a link in the chat. And I'll make sure all the links go down on the YouTube. On the mark.
It's faster than I can say it. Thank you.
There you go. Sorted. Courtney, does pitching a queer movie seem harder to sell than a typical straight film? Like, were you surprised by anything in that process? Because I often hear, like, if you have, or even just to be queer, but sometimes if you have a slightly odd storyline or something that's not, it's quite niche, it can be quite difficult to pitch to people. So was there any difficulty with that at all? I
think actually it definitely worked in our favor, especially in Canada. It's a very kind of progressive country that's very interested in celebrating new voices, and representation is very important. So I think the fact that we were telling a queer story about a Chinese woman in her 40s, it really did work for our favor. Like, it worked for sure in Canada, at least. They were like, how many boxes can you tick? And I was like, oh,
I am every box.
It worked. It worked a treat. I think what will be difficult is the festival circuit, because I think right now there is a large flux of people telling diverse stories, like diverse in all kind of aspects. I think that, checking the boxes, I don't think that that's going to exist in the festival circuit, because I think there is a plethora of amazing films pushing for the same thing. So I think where it might be a little bit more difficult is being up against another diverse, wonderful film that they have to kind of look at and go, okay, we've got, especially in a short program, it's really hard to get into a shorts program. We've got 2 hours. How many films can we fit into this 2-hour time slot where, sometimes it comes down to, okay, well, yours is 17 minutes. Well, I can get, a 15-minute film in and a 3-minute film in to this time slot. So it just makes more sense to be able to feature 2 films as opposed to 1. So we're trying really hard to make this film easy to fit into a program. I think the subject matter is going to help, because it does check a bunch of boxes. Obviously the acting is brilliant. My DP Patrick Hodgson made some of the most beautiful shots. Like, I can't even tell you. Give credit where credit is due. He's definitely responsible for how a lot of it looks, and it looks very beautiful. So we're trying to set it up for success, and we'll see where it lands. But typically right now, I have another project that we were pitching, and it's about 2 brothers, and they happen to be white. That one, nobody wants to hear about that. They're like, don't care. Oh, wow. So on the flip, that typical piece of media that we have a lot of right now, that's much harder to pitch than something that is so beautifully diverse.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a good thing in a way with the circuits. If there's a lot of diverse stuff, it's like good and bad, isn't it? It's really like, at least people are getting their stories out there. So
not available outside Canada. Oh, boo.
Yeah, I thought that, but
Well, let's see how the festival circuit goes. And worst case scenario, we'll have a special watch party for everyone here.
I'm sure something will get figured out. I
just want people to get it seen. I just want it to get seen. I think the thing with short films is you never expect to get your money back. Like, that's not why we make short films. So getting it seen by as many people who will appreciate it and love this story is kind of the payoff in the end. So if it's not available like on something like Gem, then it'll probably be available online. My husband will kill me for saying this because he's the money person in our relationship, but probably for free 99 because I just want people to see it.
That
Did you
works.
say for free 99?
Free 99. Mike's gonna be like, don't you dare say that. Paywall, and I'll be like, here's the link.
I love it. Free 99. I was like, did you say free or free?
Free 99.
That works.
She's gonna kill me.
Only for
We'll
these
just bleep
23
this bit out.
people in this
Only
particular
for these
live
23 people.
thing. Only these people.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
This is it. So a question for all of you: were there any funny moments on set, or any moments that you can remember and you think, I really enjoyed that? Obviously, without giving too many spoilers.
I
but,
want
like,
these
is
two
it-
to talk. I want to hear about it.
Well, I'm allowed to give away Sarah's
Yeah. That's not a secret anymore.
Okay, so Sarah was pregnant as well in this film, which was a really interesting. Sarah being my character. I'm apparently very nasal all of a sudden. So I had originally it was going to be just a little easy with the character.
The teeniest bit, it was supposed to be the teeniest.
It was supposed to be the teeniest. I'm going to post a picture on Instagram after this interview and show you what the real baby bump looked like. It was so much fun that I actually was trying to convince people that I was actually pregnant, and people were like, do you need something? And I'd be like dancing, like dirty dancing, and they'd be like, oh my word, and
rapping.
It was. There was so much fun on this set. And I have to say, Paulyne, your mom being on set was I will never, ever, ever forget that day. So I want you to tell the story about your mom, because there were so much joy and so many laughs, and just, I
really think a lot of the humor came from my mother on that day. It was, and so my mother was invited by Courtney to play background, and there was a moment, and so my mom was there, and she does live with dementia, and so I know she won't remember, but she had a blast. And her and Kate hit it off, and I was like, oh my God, it is over.
It was the
They were just feeding off of each other. I got so much video of the two of them playing together. They were dancing together, and it was the sweetest thing. Because my mom is a very childish nature. Geez, where did I get that from? And she's just a lot of fun, and a lot of people don't know how to take that, but Kate ran with it. She just basically, it was playtime. When the camera was off, Kate and my mom pretty much just played.
It was the sweetest thing I've ever seen.
Sounds so cute.
And she kept poking my belly, going, baby in there, and I'm like,
she said there's twins. Yeah, two, a boy and a girl.
Twins.
Yeah.
Was it that big? Was it?
Oh, yeah. I will post a pic. I'll post a pic.
Ready to go.
And I milked it. I milked it. I was like, oh, my back. And as people that weren't part of the film in our location, I'm standing there, I'd be rubbing my back, really just I was so method. It was so in there, but it was just it was the best. It's so much fun.
Watching Kate try to sit down though too. She would, even when the camera was off, she's sitting down. She's like, she was careful, held onto the armchair, make sure the baby's okay.
Were you doing it to get pampered by people? Were people extra nice to you, Kate?
Yeah, and
yes.
and to be honest,
the crew members,
everybody,
I was like, she's not fucking pregnant. Guys, What
I
can
was
I
like,
get
the
you?
baby can hear you. The baby can hear you.
Or like baby brain. There'd be like someone would drop a line and you'd be like, oh, baby brain.
Baby brain. But it's fun, like, oh gosh, like, so there's so many things that were so much fun, you know, like even, you know, when we're on set, Paulyne and I are in the car, we're having like a really, you know, getting ready for this really intimate moment. And I look behind her and there's like someone at the car window going, you know, like just to make you laugh and just to be, you know, and but it's fun because, you know, I feel like those kinds of things that break the tension and that make you laugh, like laughing is an expression just like sadness, just like love, just like it is an openness. So I think the more you have of this joy and play on set in between your takes and even during your takes, you know, even when it doesn't quite fit, they can edit it out. It's just like it just keeps you open. You know, it just keeps you open. And I think we had a very open set, right down to the green room, you know,
I feel so lucky to have done my first dramatic role with you, Kate, and with Courtney as a director, because you guys kept it light. Kate kept the light. She kept me, you know, like, because I was just so into it. And then she would be like, dancing. And I'm like, okay, we're dancing now. You know, and she helped keep it light because, well, she's Kate Drummond and she's a pro, and it was amazing to be able to have my first experience in such a serious dramatic role, to have such good support with me. So thanks, Kate Drummond.
Nancy asked about random strangers rubbing your belly. And so with this film, because I'm the producer and the writer and I have all this control, I can make all the rules. Ha ha ha. I like Paulyne was saying, she had her mom out to do background, and I had my dad and my grandma come out to do background. And we ended up just adding a little feature for my grandma as well, because she was just, you know, living her best life. And we put that in there, that these two old people from their retirement home like go to grab the belly, and then the husband like shushes her away. And it ended up being great. We just made things up on the day, and it's so funny. Oh my God, the footage. My grandma was so into it. She got so mad on the drive home. Like, he wasn't walking fast enough and he didn't glide and he's ruined my takes. And I was like, oh my God, grandma's a diva. She was so mad.
It was so fun. Oh my gosh. Let's make more and more and more. Let's just keep making
your grandmother and my mom hit it off too. It was so cute.
We're like best buddies. My grandma was so protective of your mom.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah. She was like, she's like, I just put her under my wing. I'm like, Grandma, you're like 83. Like, how old is your mom?
Yeah, she's just a little bit younger. She's 80.
So yeah, my grandma was like, I took care of her and I showed her what to do. And I was like, oh my God, my grandma, she's adorable. Love her.
That whole scene was so much fun too. Like we had this beautiful, beautiful location, and Paulyne and I are walking down the stairs, and then on cue, Pauline's mom gets wheeled across at the bottom of the stairs, and she's part of our background. And so she would always look up at us and start waving. And so we just had to like take whatever Pauline's mom was doing. We just used it, and it was just like, this is what's happening. So
like ad-libbing, and she just has to go with it.
She'd be like, you know, the pure, oh gosh, with the pure joy, like Paulyne said, the childlike wonder, and, you know, under the circumstances of, you know, with your mom, you know, for such a debilitating disease of dementia, it's like seeing the joy come out of your mom, and you, Paulyne, doing this film, which was such a leap of faith for you and such a brave thing as an artist and a human to tell this story of your heart, and to have your mom there, and just like that in and of itself is such a beautiful significant part of what makes this film so special, I think, personally. You know, it's a really beautiful snapshot of you.
Thank you, Courtney.
It's not me. You did it.
You wrote this. You made this happen.
You could have.
You made it happen.
I might have had to recast you. I didn't know.
Why? You were going to recast Paulyne in her own film?
Can you imagine? I was so nervous. I was like, you could have sucked. I would have been like,
how do you break that gently? You can't break that gently.
For the story, I would have been like, you know what? To honor the story, I think we should try to get Michelle Yeoh.
Keeping in mind, Courtney's also my coach.
No, you killed it. I know that you were nervous. I know that we talked about this a lot, because it's one thing to create a character that you can imagine their circumstances and put your experiences into that character in a very safe way. That's one of the joys of being an actor and being a creative, is being able to detach kind of your own vulnerable stuff inside and go, okay, I'm going to channel these things through the safety of this character. It's a totally other thing to have that character they look like you, they talk kind of like you. The experience is very, very, very similar, without dipping into the, okay, well, now this is therapy, because that's never what acting is. It's cathartic, yes, and you can work a lot of things out, sure, but it's still a job. It's still a professional setting. You still have to really protect yourself, that you're not going into this deep, dark place and conjuring up emotions that you aren't really sure how to deal with when cut happens. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a totally different skill set. And again, I'll shout this to the rooftops. I think casting happened so perfectly. Jane Luke, the one who played June, Pauline's mother, and Kate, that bond that you all had, that safety net as actors, that protection that you had between rolling and cut, I think made that, that scary experience hopefully less scary. And the support that you all had for each other was palpable and really, really wonderful to watch. So.
Well, I remember my first dramatic role, and it's really scary. It's scary to be that vulnerable and to, you've got to go through it it's almost like, it kind of is almost like in life. We talk about this at conventions a lot, at the ERP conventions, about our vulnerability and about being brave with our feelings in public and knowing, allowing it to happen, and then realizing, oh shit, I didn't die. I expressed myself truthfully and I didn't die. I'm still here. And the more you practice it, the braver you get, whether it's in life or in art or, with film. And so, I've been really lucky along the way that I've had some incredible mentors that have helped protect me and my heart, because, I'm pretty wide open. There's not a lot that I, keep hidden as in terms of like my feelings, and especially when I'm working. So, when Paulyne, I remember Paulyne, you talking to me and you're like, I'm nervous. Like, this is the first sort of big thing. And I was like, we got you. Everyone's got you, because that's what art is. It's community. You don't make art independently. It's not a solo mission. And if one person is feeling unsafe and one person is feeling reluctant, the whole project starts to crumble. And it starts right from the top with Court and with everybody, even our DP, like even Patrick, like there's a safety there in every single person that's like, hey, are you good? Have you eaten? Do you need something? Hey, let's hug it out. Let's have a dance off. Let me belly bump your belly with my big pregnant belly. Like whatever it is, like you've got to, I've had amazing mentors. It's a shout out to my mentors. And also Courtney, again, a shout out to you. Like, you create the culture of your set. It starts with you.
I think we've all had experiences of being on those sets where that safety wasn't there. And, like that, I don't know. I don't know. I think we've all experienced that like toxic kind of feel. And I think once you have the opportunity to go, okay, I love doing this thing, but I'm in this toxic space or surrounded by toxic people, like this like friction happens. Once you experience it once, you're like, okay, I'm going to do everything in my power to never have that. It should be a joyful experience. It should be a safe experience every single time. We do make believe for a fucking living. Like, we tell fake stories. We get to be other people. The behind the scenes should be just as safe and fun and explore. What's the word? Doesn't matter. It should be awesome. It shouldn't be toxic behind the scenes. Yeah. So I think that's a goal of mine. No asshole policy.
Well, it's like that Sarah Pauly just made that thing where she's like, I will not have difficult people on my set. I'm like, why? Yes, because there's no need. No, because you don't have to be the best person in the room, but if you're a good person and you're willing to learn and you are, yes, leading with kindness, then that can only be elevated. But when you bring a stubbornness and a difficulty and a difficultness to the set, it literally is like a brick wall that shuts down art. It shuts down people's impulses. It shuts down people's courage. And when you're making art, you've got to be courageous as fuck. You do.
Get a real job.
There should be a rule. Be an asshole. Yeah, there should be a rule that if you're horrible, you just don't get invited.
Oh my gosh, because we're artists.
I'm gonna get that tattooed on my butt.
I'm gonna put it in the chat for those who missed it. We are artists. Oh, get it? Heart. Nice. Heart.
I love it.
I love how to spell. I always have to spell out my jokes because, like, I don't trust that they're ever gonna land. You're artists.
Will you get that tattooed with me?
Oh my god!
All three of us
filmed.
I would for sure.
In so tiny writing, in like white writing, yeah.
No, like somewhere anyway.
Somewhere great for makeup to have to get rid of.
I'm like, whatever. I'm a director. It doesn't matter. I can put it like whatever. Like, you guys, different story, but.
I thought I'd finish off with a quick game. I've got some
I love
things. This or that. So you pick whichever one you like better, just as a quick get to know you kind of random stuff. And then there's just a few. So just shout out what yours is. You can explain it if you want, but it doesn't matter.
At the same time?
One or whatever, doesn't matter. You can either go round in a circle, but I think everyone's screen is different. So
circle. Oh, not circle.
Let's take turns.
Introductions.
Okay. We're nothing without our director. Courtney, direct us.
Let's take turns, and then let's do it alphabetically, but the opposite way. So it'll be Paulyne, and then Kate, and then me.
I see why you've done that then.
I'm used to being last because of my name.
Bad, buddy. Here we go.
Okay. Night or day?
Pardon?
Night or day?
Pardon wasn't an option.
Day.
Do you prefer night or day?
Day.
Hot weather or cold weather?
Hot.
Cold.
Oh, is it my turn?
Oh, I thought we were all going to answer.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, go for all of you. That's fine. It'll be quick. Okay, night or day? Go for night or day. So Paulyne's answered.
Day.
Okay. Hot weather or cold weather?
Hot.
Cold.
Okay. You like cold weather?
Yeah, I don't like to sweat and I don't like to swell up. I can put clothes on if I'm cold. I don't like being sweaty.
I love how I gave you my judgy, like, did you just fart face?
I chose to get married in October so that I wouldn't feel like swollen in my wedding dress. I like cold. Yeah.
Okay. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Whoa.
Dogs.
Cats are just cheaper and easier to have.
Oh yeah, you have cats.
I have two, but would love to have dogs too.
Sure.
Action movies or romance movies?
Action.
Romance.
City or countryside?
Country.
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 Comfy clothes or smart dress?
Comfy.
Comfy. With leg warmers.
Twitter or Instagram?
Instagram.
Instagram.
Oh. Twinstagram.
Well done.
Part of an option.
The last one, sweets or veggies?
Oh,
Ugh.
Like, as in what's best for me?
What you prefer to eat?
a carrot dipped in peanut butter.
It's true.
Both.
But like, let's be honest, I like a gummy candy. Hundo P.
I just cut out
I would have
sugar
like a
from your
strawberry
diet.
covered chocolate strawberry covered. That's perfect. Both of them.
Yeah. Sweets.
I mean, I like a veggie,
I like a good veg.
but not. It's like I'm
If
taking.
you had the option.
Yeah, I'm not taking the carrot.
Okay, can I ask a question? I know it's not in the game, but has anyone
Go
had
for it.
celery with peanut butter and raisins on it, and they call it
Yes.
ants on a log?
Hundo P.
Okay, I'm
I've
sorry.
heard of it.
What is it
It
with
is the greatest.
demographic that likes raisins on everything? Why are there raisins in my cookies? Why are there raisins in my?
Why are you so angry at grapes?
I don't like raisins. See,
Raisins
raisins.
are nature's candy.
No, Casey, raisins are grapes that gave up on life. They could have become fine wine if they tried. They ended up lying in the sun and shriveled up and became raisins hiding in cookies.
How sad. And this is their last chance to have a purpose, and you are shutting them down.
I will never
Okay,
look
I'm
at a
sorry.
raisin the same way. I just
It's a
look at
sad
the raisin and
grape.
be like, you could have been wine. You fucking
You could have
loser."
been.
They could have become fine wine.
You could have been something.
That Tyra meme. We believed in you. We all believed in you.
I'm sorry. Paulyne's starting a revolution.
Everyone's either loving raisins or hating
This
raisins
is
in the
raisin hate. Yeah.
Humiliating.
chat. Hashtag
And I would
raisins.
also like to say it sounds a little bit like ageism.
Oh.
Grapes or raisins are aged, shriveled up.
Well, considering I'm the oldest one here.
Are you older than me?
Really?
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Ironically, Asian don't raise.
That's what I'm going to get tattooed on my body. Asians don't raisin.
Hashtag.
Yes. Yes.
I don't snort often, but if I do, it's real. Oh, man.
We get a good giggle anyway, so that's good.
Oh my God, I'm dead. I'm dead. Paulyne, I'm dead.
I love you.
That was quick off the mark, to be fair.
I'm so glad we didn't recast you.
Yeah.
As if that would ever happen. I love you so much. That's why I hesitate to say that out loud. Never.
Okay, I think that's about all we've got time for today, though. Is there anything else you'd like to say, sort of, to round everything up? Like, is there anything you want to say to anybody, or thank you, goodbye, or
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone.
Speech.
Thank you so much for having us here, and thank you so much for shedding light on this project. We don't have a huge studio behind us to help us get the word out and to help let people know about it. So thank you so much for creating the space and allowing us to be here. This has been so much fun. I haven't seen these two for a little while. We've been texting and whatever. I've seen Paulyne, but I haven't seen Kate forever. So this was like a fun little reunion, and I can't wait to have updates. Once it's locked and there's a trailer, I'll absolutely share it so that you can get a little glimpse of what there is to come. And hopefully there's tons of festival programmers that are going to watch this and listen and go, yes, we need that film. And then we'll bring it to a city/country/town near you.
Yeah, it only takes one person, very important person, and then anything can happen. So
That's right. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
And thank you. This is the first interview I've been a part of, so this was a lot of fun.
Oh, I am glad. I'm very happy that this is actually the first one I've had more than one person on as well. So there you go.
You started a revolution, Paulyne.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good thing to do on your first interview.
I'm going to send you some oatmeal raisin cookies as a congratulations for your first interview.
Honey, I
Pick every raisin out.
Asians don't raisin.
Asians don't raisin.
I'll just mail them all back to you.
Yeah.
That'd be brilliant.
I just want to say thank you to everyone for being here and for just everything. Just thanks.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming on and supporting me, and me supporting you. It's really great. I'm looking forward to, hopefully I get to see the film, and it sounds like really interesting. Even when I've read the first little description, so I was like, yes, this is something I can definitely get on board with. So thank you guys for doing more representation for everybody. So hopefully here's to more representation of varying things. So thank you very much for joining us. And I'll make sure to put this on YouTube for people and everyone can share. And you never know what'll happen. Maybe it'll get seen by the right person. And then there you go.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Everyone does the... That'll be the screenshot. That'll be it.
We hate each other so much.
I can tell.
We don't get along at all.
Yeah.
This is all just a front. It was actually, there's going to be like a made for TV movie about how horrible it was to make this film. Real behind the scenes drama.
That's going to be
We've all blocked out the other screens. That's what it is.
Yeah. Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Hannah. You're the best.
All right.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you guys for coming.
Bye, everyone. Lots of love. Bye.
Shall I kick you out or you kick you out?
I don't know. I
don't know.
Bye.
We just close the screen.
Yeah. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time. Bye.